to our channel, the Karima Wangas. I just want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day. I tell you, it's such a blessing to be a mother. I tell you, the transition has been so great for me, especially because I literally went through quite a few transitions before transitioning to be a mom. My husband came here, we moved, and then in the midst of moving and living together on a full-time basis, we were working through pregnancy, labor, and delivery, and then now she's here. So I wanted to take some time out. Matter of fact, my husband's over here. Come join and say hi to the Karima Wanga family, huh?
Hey baby. Hi guys. To all the mothers, happy Mother's Day to you all.
Alright, so time out just to share a little bit about what I wish I would have known about labor, delivery, and pregnancy. Everyone's pregnancy is different. No pregnancy is the same. My first trimester really was, it was something else. It was really rough. It was really nauseous. I mean, I was nauseous all the time. I couldn't have much water or milk throughout my entire pregnancy, which I'm just so thankful that the Lord has covered my daughter, considering the fact that I wasn't able to drink as much water or milk. Come to find out that she ended up having a milk allergy, which is probably the reason why I couldn't drink a lot of cow's milk with her. And then the same with my husband. When his mom was carrying him, she couldn't have water. She couldn't keep it down. Just couldn't keep it down. If I barely could keep it down myself. To other mothers and try to get some help into what I could take and what I could do. And it's like, well, I tried this and this worked for me. And then, but to each its own. Throughout the rest of the pregnancy, it went really well. I started to think of a birthing plan. So as far as like a birthing plan, I know specifically for me is that I kept an open mind. Because one thing I do know is that you can plan something, but God sure can just totally change the whole plan around. And the reason why I kept like an open plan is because I didn't want to have a specific plan in mind, and then God forbid it turns out totally different than what I had step by step, and literally be very disappointed that it didn't go exactly how I planned it. So yes, I did make a plan, but I definitely committed it to the Lord and realized that you're totally in control of this whole process. I surrender to whatever way that you decide that's going to be best. And that's what you want. You want a healthy mama and you want a healthy baby. So I had my birthing plan, and I specifically, for me, I wanted to have a natural birth. I didn't want medication. I did not want to take it up to the time of the birthing plan. I'm like, I'm just petrified of needles. I would prefer to have her naturally if I can. And I did speak to my doctor, and she was like, well, I know that you said you're not big on pain. I do not have a high pain tolerance whatsoever. And so she suggested for me to have an epidural. However, I'm a first-time mom. I don't know what contractions feel like. So I couldn't just make a determination and say, hey, I'm definitely going to need an epidural. I kept it in mind. I did have an open mind that, okay, well, if I can't tolerate the pain, I will accept having to muster up the courage and the faith to be able to take the epidural. But honestly, in my heart of hearts, I did not want to take one. I kept it in mind that I was going to let the Lord lead, and so that's exactly what I did. And then through the process of labor and delivery, when that time came, the doctor told me, hey, look out, any day now she could come. I got to 5 centimeters and 70% effaced with no labor pains. I wouldn't have even known what they felt like. I didn't really have any Braxton Hicks. Only thing really just my pelvis was really sore. She was really low, so I really couldn't see her throughout the whole pregnancy. She would hide her face majority of the time that she would have her ultrasounds pictures shown. And so that's really, you know, what I felt. And doctors said, hey, look for either trickles of water or a big gush of water. And so around the time I laid down, and then I noticed that when I had laid down, that there was like some water that went through like my padding, because I started wearing padding and things when it's more closer to time, because I was afraid that if I'd be out, I didn't want to I was going to try to catch my mess if I did have a mess. But I laid down and the water came through my padding and everything, but it wasn't so much. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know if my water broke, I don't know if she's on my bladder, I mean, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And my husband's like, well, just lay back down. If it happens again, then we'll go to the hospital, because I'm not experiencing any pain or anything. And so I lay back down. It didn't happen again. Later on in the morning, it did happen again. So I told my husband, and he's like, okay, well, let's just, you know, pack our bags just to be prepared, just in case that it may be time and we are not going to come back home. So I was like, okay, well, fine, let's go. So we packed our things and got in the car, and then went to the hospital. The OBGYN office was connected to the hospital that I was going to deliver at. So I went to the nurse and asked her, hey, can you check me? I think maybe my water may have broke, but I'm not too sure. So I was like, sure, you know. They took me back, and I laid down, and so while they were checking me, I just noticed there was like all types of water flowing out with like some blood. I was like, I don't think we're going to go home after this. And so the doctor's like, well, we're gonna check this, see if it's amniotic fluid, and we'll come back and let you know. So we waited 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, it's definitely your water. We're taking you down to labor and delivery. Are you ready? In my head, I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I'm nervous. And so they wheel me down to labor and delivery. They're getting me prepped. They check me again to make sure that it really is my water, and getting me set up on an IV, and basically trying to see if the labor is going to kind of get started on its own, because I'm still 5 centimeters and about 90% effaced now. So from 70 to 90, but that's about it. So they're like, hey, if labor and delivery doesn't get started, then we're pretty much going to have to get you started on Pitocin and to get this labor rolling for you, because your water kind of broke after midnight, and baby doesn't have a safe place, and it's a risk for infection. So not probably the best thing that you want to hear, but remember, we're releasing it all to the Lord and praying, you know, for the best. Goal, like I said, safe mama, safe baby. And so we're waiting around, and after a few hours, the doctor comes in and he's like, okay, well, labor hasn't really progressed much. We're getting ready to start you on antibiotics, and we're also going to give you some Pitocin to get your labor started. I knew that these were going to be stronger contractions compared to if my body naturally did it itself. However, I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I just prayed. But one thing that my mom told me to do was that if I wanted to have a natural birth, I needed to prepare for it, and that was one thing that she wished she would have done, was prepared to have a natural birth. And unfortunately for me, they didn't have classes that you could do to kind of prepare you for it because they were still closed down due to COVID. I watched the video to prepare myself for breathing because I needed some type of technique to be able to breathe through labor. I was praying for a supernatural birth. I did not have a supernatural birth, but I can truthfully say it was not absolutely horrible.